It says, I'm going to assassinate Representative Nancy Mace with a gun, and I'm being 100% dead-ass serious, you wingnut.
So a trans activist is denied bail and cries after he's caught threatening a representative, Nancy Mace, with death. This is an article from the Post-Millennial discussing this. They write, South Carolina trans activist cries his bond denied after arrest for threatening to kill Representative Nancy Mace. He had said, I'm going to assassinate Representative Nancy Mace with a gun, and I'm being 100% dead. Trans activist Samuel Cain has been denied bond after being arrested for threatening on social media to assassinate U.S. Representative Nancy Mace. Cain, who uses the alias Roxy, because of course he does, was booked on Thursday into the Greenville County Detention Center on the charge of threatening the life of a public official. A post allegedly made by Cain stated in all caps, I'm going to assassinate, etc., etc. The U.S. Attorney's Office for the District of South Carolina declined to prosecute.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today, oh my god, these trans activists, you see why I just want to not be associated with anything trans anymore. They've gone insane. It's literally a cult. These people are totally nuts. And I'm going to show you today not just Nancy Mace's the horrible, disgusting threats towards her. I don't care if you like her or not. I don't particularly agree with everything she says, and she's not necessarily okay with transsexuals like me. She just thinks we're all crazy and wingnuts, and can you blame her? But it is not okay to threaten a actual public official, a representative. I mean, everything about it is disgusting and gross, and we got to make examples out of these people who keep threatening our public officials, just people, just all of us I get threatened by them. They're insane. So it's just not okay. So we've got to start arresting them and sending them to jail, because just because they're trans doesn't mean anything to me. They're wingnuts, and they need to be treated like wingnuts, and threats are threats no matter what. So I'm full on about this trans activist, trans woman going to prison for a long time, because when you make examples of people are going to start thinking twice before they do this stuff. And I'm so sick of the threatening trans community. People are nuts. And the way you threaten, you are not creating a good space, okay? You're making people hate us more and more. So the sane transsexuals are disconnecting from all of you because we want nothing to do with you. And I will say this before I move on with this. It is our duty as transsexuals to expose these crazy people, okay? Because this is not trans. This has nothing to do with trans. This is activism. It is a cult-like behavior. It is threatening, and it there's nothing to do with trans rights. Zero to do with trans rights, and everything to do with dominance, okay? So with that, thanks again for liking, subscribing, commenting, and all the stuff you know what to do. You know, the more you like these videos, the more they get played out there, and the more people will see that not all the trans people are crazy like this. And I think more and more trans people are coming out and starting to speak against this wingnutty space. So let's finish a little bit more of this.
Why? Why would you not want to prosecute this idiot? You need to make examples of these kinds of things.
There you go.
I have to look into this guy and see what his political affiliation is, because what crack is he smoking? Now, Cain, who stands at 6'3" or 6'3" and 220 pounds, was taken into custody by South Carolina Law Enforcement Division.
Being here, I will tell you, as a mom, this was heartbreaking for me to watch, to see this young man and what he has made his life out to be. As a mom, all I could think about was his family. And as a mom, I stood there and I thought about my kids. My kids live in fear about being killed. My kids live in fear about being murdered. They live in fear about their mom being shot.
Yeah.
And that was what was top of mind for me this morning. Is that my kids live with that fear. I live with that fear every day as well. I was grateful for the judge for denying bond this morning. This is a serious charge. There should be serious consequences. And
yeah, there should be serious consequences. Yeah. Look, here's the problem. In this country, ever since the BLM George Floyd incident,
Here it comes.
The idea that you can threaten people, that you can murder people, you can burn down buildings, riot. We have codified this. We have given leeway to criminal behavior and saying, oh, it's okay. Little Johnny, little Sally are just mad because this is an injustice. But the thing is, there's always either an injustice or a belief that there's an injustice that allows these idiots to do what they do.
A belief that there's an injustice is different than an actual injustice. Okay, so what's the injustice is what I would like to know. And how is threatening Nancy Mace okay because you're trans, which is basically what they're saying, right? We can do this because we're trans and it's human rights and trans women are women and trans men are men and trans rights exist and trans kids. But the minute you push back on that, which Nancy Mace has done, and said, no, you're not a woman, you're a man, they are losing their minds and now they're threatening her. So take trans out of it. In any other instance that this would happen, would this be okay? No, it would not. No, it would not. And so this is why this is an important situation, why this is important that this person gets put in jail, okay? Because if we continue to codify, like this guy is saying here, that you're trans, oh, we feel sorry for you. Don't feel sorry for me. I have nothing to do with that. Do not feel sorry for me because I'm trans. I took care of my shit, okay? I took care of my business. I don't need for anyone to feel sorry for me, nor do I, as a transsexual, feel that my rights are under attack. That's why these people are lying, cheating, and stealing constantly. And now they're using the trans platform as marginalized people. I could go on and on and on, but this dude is saying exactly what we all think we all do, and you know that.
And for years now, the trans community has been allowed to threaten, to bully, to dox anyone, to deperson anyone who didn't agree with their ideology. This meant that they were able to push their pronouns in bios. They were able to push trans ideology into movies and films. And anyone who dared say anything about it was trashed, called a Nazi, bad person. And they tried everything they could to dox and deperson, deplatform you.
Yeah.
And somebody like this Samuel Cain for years has watched this being promoted, hailed, allowed. Of course he's going to go pop off at the mouth. And the way you deal with this is you go after a-holes like Samuel Cain and you give them really harsh sentences. You put them away.
Right on. 100% agree with this dude. 100%. You got to give these people what they deserve, because if we don't start making examples of these crazy trans activists, because it's the trans activists. They're nuts. And they're literally bringing in young people to do the dirty work, which, as we know, throughout history, they always bring the young kids because they're very vulnerable. They're I was a young kid who did stuff that, do I regret? I don't know, but I wish I would have known better. But you know what I'm saying? I learned from those mistakes, but I know damn well it's very easily to manipulate young people into thinking they're doing the right thing, and why there's so many young people in the trans activist space. And why they've all become so violent, because they're being taught to be violent. That was never part of trans rights. We never told kill a TERF or kill, Nancy May, or do all these crazy things, kill people. We just didn't do that, okay? And in my memory, we did not do that, okay? We might have said, we need our rights, we need to move forward. Gay people should be able to get married. Trans people, I don't even remember it being trans rights or human rights kind of thing. I don't even remember that. We just sort of transitioned into our space and moved forward in the world and wanted to be a part of the world. I want to show you these postings by Andy. No, I think that's how you pronounce his name, and I apologize if it's not, but these are really important. Hold on here. Oh, wait, first I'm going to show you this posting that nutcase made. Here's the posting that this wingnut posted in their on their X, which has been removed now, but I'm going to look here because I can see it better. It says, I'm going to assassinate Representative Nancy Mace with a gun, and I'm being 100% deadass serious, you wingnut. So then now you're arrested. Duh. You can't do that. I don't know who you people think you are, that you can just go actually totally threaten a public representative in our government and think you're going to get away with it. Well, they've been getting away with it for too long. So now we're over it. We're all over it. We're all just not cool with it. So thank God. Hold on a second here. Let me grab this next one here. I want Andy know. So this one says, according to sources with knowledge, Samuel Roxy Cain was encouraged to transition by his mother. His parents are divorced, and Cain's father, who is in a wheelchair, apologized to Congresswoman Nancy Mace over his son's conduct. Cain's mother cried when her son was denied bond. According to one source, she has a much younger daughter who is also trans-identified. You know how I feel about trans parents, okay? So there's that. And then this one. Update. I have obtained the May 15th booking photo of Greenville, South Carolina trans activist Samuel Roxy Cain. Cain was arrested on suspicion of threatening the life of a public official last month. Cain posted on X that he was going to shoot and kill Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who is a critic of trans ideology. Mace has been the subject of multiple death threats by trans and queer activists since she began speaking out. See? So here, look at this. Here's the booking photo. There's the booking photo. Okay, gross. You gross freak. Okay, so you deserve it all. You deserve it all. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to move forward here because this isn't new. You and I both know this has been going on for a long time, okay? And the fact that they've been getting away with it is so insane to me that they've been getting away with doing this. And now here it's going to come back tenfold. I keep telling all you trans activists, you think you're so smart? You think this isn't going to come back on you? You just watch and see. So here it comes, okay? And so I wanted to go and find other videos where this has just been going on for years and years and years and years. And maybe some of this you've seen before, but this one is a newer one here.
Thousands of trans rights protesters marched through central London days after that bombshell Supreme Court ruling on the definition of a woman. Trans rights groups, as you can see here, and trade unions came together for what they described as an emergency demonstration in London's Parliament Square, while a rally organised by a group called Resisting Transphobia took place in Edinburgh. It comes, of course, after the UK Supreme Court ruled that the legal definition of a woman is based on biological sex. Well, let me tell you, GB News went down there today to hear from protesters, and as you can imagine, some were somewhat hostile to our team. You just needed to see some of the placards they were holding to sense an angry tone. One read, and just to warn you, some of you may find this offensive, it read, "The only good turf is a dead turf." Another said, "Transphobes, fix your hearts or die," as you can see here if you're watching on telly. And this lovely placard said that Wes Streeting, the health secretary, had blood on his hands.
See? Told you. I mean, I don't need to tell you. You know it. It's actually disgusting. They've been doing... So this is just recent after the whole UK that, women are women and trans women are not women. Like, duh. Oh, my God, you guys. I hope I'm alive in 10, 15 years when we look back on this and we're like, what? How? We better learn from this. We seriously better, as a society, as humanity, we better learn from this insanity. Seriously. So that being said, there they are. There they are, making threats. Oh, that's really helping. People are like, oh, yeah, these marginalized, poor trans people, we better help them. That doesn't, nope. Everyone's like, you guys are all crazy and you are threatening to kill people. What do you think you're doing? Because you're just digging. You're digging so deep, man. It's crazy. So, let me see if there's any more of this I want to play here. Oh, BBC went out to that, protest and nobody would talk to the BBC. Not one single person. I mean, I'm sorry, it's not the BBC. GB News. People went out to GB News. I mean, oh God. So GB News went out to get comment because they said they want to hear both sides of the story, right? And then not everyone was like, "Boo, GB News, get out of here, GB News. We don't want to talk to you." They don't want to. They don't want to have conversation. The trans activists, they don't want to have conversation at all. They are just so insane and just. I don't even know. I don't even know what it is that they're trying to accomplish. I really don't understand it because they're not accomplishing anything but more hate. So with that, let me bring up a cup. I got some really good stuff here. Hold on one second here.
I run an organisation called the Trans Prisoner Alliance. There's over 1,000 transgender prisoners and we're counting on you out here, right? Listen. There are some really bad transgender prisoners. There f***ing are. I'm not going to lie to you. But there's about 980 of us who are just trying to live our lives behind bars, without testicles, in male prisons, against our will. Well, I was going to come here and be really fluffy and be really nice and say, yeah, be really lovely and queer and gay. Nah, if you see a turf, punch him in the face.
There you go. That one's pretty famous. If you see a turf, punch him in the effing face. Yeah, nice one there, lady. And then like talking about how there's like 900 trans women in prison and we just want to get rid of our testicles and we just want to, like, what? First off, you're in prison. Chill out. You don't get stuff when you're in prison. That's just, I personally don't. I used to think that trans people should be getting. Now, if you already transitioned and you get into prison, I do think you should get your hormones. I don't think you should get surgeries paid for. I don't think any of that. But I do think you should continue to get your hormones because it is your medication. And it would be horrible if I had to go there. I'm never going, but if I had to, because it would actually mess with me and physically as well as mentally. So, but I'm already transitioned. But I don't think you should be getting any of that if you didn't start before you went into prison. You don't have any rights. You have a right to food, clothing, housing. You know what I mean? No, just basic human rights. You shouldn't be humiliated or beat up or any of that kind of stuff. But you don't get other extracurricular activities. I mean, God, it's ridiculous behavior. So I got another one here for you.
Trans activists have been photographed wielding signs that advocate violence against women who uphold the reality of biological sex. During a protest against Westminster's decision to block Holyrood's gender recognition reform bill, signs with violent slogans were on display, including messages like Decapitate Terfs. TERF, or trans-exclusionary radical feminist, is a slur for women who say it is not possible for men to become women. The sex swap bill would have allowed those as young as 16 to change legal sex without a medical diagnosis of gender dysphoria,
Ridiculous.
which campaigners say would put women and girls at risk.
Yeah.
First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, who championed the bill, distanced herself from the activists' views. I would condemn the way in which those views were expressed and the views that were expressed there.
Interesting. Oh my God. It's just so gross. Decapitate, like, keep going. Just keep going. Do you know how many of this stuff I found? These are the ones I just picked because I, for some reason, felt like they were the important ones. But come on. I just gonna keep saying it over. You guys are digging deep, man. You're not it's all the dirt you've dug up. It's all falling back on top of you. You're such a bunch of losers. Okay, so I know you remember this one because I did a whole one on this one because these people are super dangerous and super scary.
Okay, make the earth a better place. Go decompose. Actually produce something rather than just being scammed. Taking over resources.
Decomposing, then breathing every transphobic breath that you breathe.
Yeah.
You're
the
also
earth would be
spreading
so
COVID
much
without a
better
mask,
without
you
you.
bitch.
You're such fucking scum.
Oh my God, I can't
You're
take
such a
it.
bitch.
Take your time. Don't rush on our behalf. Don't rush on our behalf.
Yeah.
Take your time. Transphobic shit stand.
Oh my God, I can't stand it. It makes me so mad. I play it over and over. Sometimes I just play it to get my energy up because it literally like pokes me so. I just want to know who these people are so bad. That's all I'm saying. I just want to know who they are so bad. But imagine saying that to some older woman who just went to a rally because this is the United States of America, people. If you don't like what's going on, that's your problem. Go figure out and make your own rally. If you don't like the fact that you look like a dude and you can't use the woman's room, figure it out and go pee somewhere else or go create. Why don't you guys fight for your own toilet? It just seems so insane to me that you're so I'm not using the woman's room. I don't care what any of you people say, all the haters. I'm not using the women's room. And good luck trying to get me out of there, okay? Because the bottom line is I've done the work, okay? And I go in and I respect the space and everything I have says male and I look like a man and no one's bothering me. So I don't care what you say. I'm using the men's room, okay? Because I participate. And that's what I'm trying to tell you all. None of this nonsense was going on before. We weren't losing our rights. We were gaining rights because people actually respected us to use the restrooms because we respected them. This last one I'm bringing up because this weirdo freak has threatened me so many times. I had to block them on every platform because they're a psychopathic, crazy person. But I'm going to show you again the violent rhetoric nonsense that keeps coming out of these. And then this one encourages people. Okay, so watch this.
This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender, lesbian, bi, or gay. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. Go out, buy a gun. Learn how to use it efficiently, through and through. Because the time to act is now. You need to protect yourself and you need to protect your fellow transgender brothers and sisters and theys and thems. You need to protect the rest of us in the LGBT community, as I'm going to do myself. I do not fear Christians. I do not fear conservatives. I do not fear evangelicals. And I do not fear Republicans. They just talk a big game. That's all they do.
Sure.
But heaven forbid you do something in my presence. You're going to know what fear actually feels like. I'm done. I am done with this shit.
Oh my God.
We've done the right thing. We've turned the other cheek. We've shouted at the top of our lungs. We've gone to our state legislatures. We've sent emails. We've signed petitions. We've made phone calls. We've done everything. This is a war you want, the war you're going to get.
Wow, that's psycho.
But I can guarantee you, it's not going to be, you're not going to get the outcome you want. Because there are lots of people like me who are not afraid to die. I love my girlfriends to death, but I would rather die for them to secure their safety, freedom, and future.
What are you talking about?
Than to live and not have anything done.
So, see what I'm telling you? So this one is so insane. So what's so great about this one, this was done like a year or so ago, is yeah, mister, just so you know, you're getting arrested now. And I hope they go after this one next. Seriously, this one has been making, and if you're watching anyone who works in the government or the FBI or wherever, you need to go after this one because this one's been making serious threats against people for a long time. Right there. They just told people to go arm themselves and like, we're coming after you. Yeah. Okay, so going back to the beginning of this video, right? And that WINGNUT, whatever its name is, I don't remember, to be honest with you, because I really don't care. But that one is going to jail. And they were crying when they were getting sentenced. I guarantee you this one would be crying their ass off as well when they get arrested. And they're going to be like totally shocked. What I'm trying to say here is enough is enough. Enough of this violent trans activist behavior. Enough. Arrest them all. Please. I beg of you. Please get rid of them. They are doing nothing but creating such a divide in the world that I don't want to. I actually enjoy my life. I live a great life. I walk the world in a great life. Okay. I participate as a transsexual. I know that I have to participate more in order to belong to this situation. It's part of being trans. It's why young people cannot understand this situation. You do not get everything you want. You've got to learn to walk in a space that won't always like you, that won't always agree with you, that won't always want you to do this. But are you solid enough to understand it doesn't matter what other people think? And am I not making problems in the world? Am I helping the world? This is really one of the most important messages I can give out there to anyone thinking about being trans. You better think about the pros and the cons, okay? Because it's not all pro. There are also a lot of cons in this situation. Cons. For a con artist, for sure. So with that, I just want you all to know that this channel means a lot to me. You all mean a lot to me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for, even if you don't agree with me, at least opening up your heart or your mind to listen to a different side of the story. And I really do believe that we're going to get back to some semblance of reality, and transsexual people will prevail. Not transgender people, transsexual people will prevail. And the adult transsexuals who need this medication will be the people who come to save, okay, this situation from all this insanity that's going on, okay? So thanks so much again. I really do appreciate you guys liking, subscribing, commenting, joining the channel, all of those kinds of things. Really, I can't do it without you. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys all in the next one.